All right, now let's get you the very latest coming in. What you just heard was a quick refresher course for all of us not to clued in on what is the no confidence motion or the no trust motion and what has been the history where India comes into play. Well, we borrowed from the British Parliament, so a lot of it on the lines of the British Parliament. But what to expect today? There was word coming in, Polumi, and I want to bring in my colleague into this conversation, that Rahul Gandhi might need permission from the chair to speak and not Gaurav Gogoi. And it would be on the discretion of the chair to allow him to speak, as it was Mr. Gogoi who had mooted the no confidence motion. What's the latest update on that?
That's right. Because Gaurav Gogoi initiated this motion of no confidence against the Union Council of Ministers, he is listed on the business of the House as the first speaker. He will, of course, initiate that motion, and then subsequently the discussion begins. Now, the Congress party wants Rahul Gandhi to go first, and it is expected that Gaurav Gogoi will either, of course, approach the speaker before the House is in session, or possibly, stand up at the time that his name is called out, and then, of course, cede space and opportunity and say that he would like Mr. Rahul Gandhi to initiate the discussion on his behalf. It remains to be seen at the moment. Like you said, it is at the discretion of the speaker if he allows for the switch to happen, because if someone moves a motion, then it is them that who in fact has to initiate that discussion as well, and hence Gaurav Gogoi is named on that list of business. It remains to be seen, of course, if the speaker allows for this switch, but the Congress party has, of course, made its intention clear that they want Rahul Gandhi to go first.
Well, it's very, very interesting. Now it is up to the chair, the speaker, to decide whether or not he will allow the Congress to make that switch, as it was Gaurav Gogoi. The Congress's explanation in all of this is that when Gaurav Gogoi had mooted the no confidence motion, at that point of time, Rahul Gandhi was still disqualified as an MP. And once his disqualification, or rather his MP statushood was restored, it was automatically that Rahul Gandhi would begin the discussion. Interesting once again. Will Rahul Gandhi be allowed to speak in Parliament today? He's to speak in just about an hour and a half. But let's just go back where we are talking about no confidence motions, its history, and who better but Rahul Srivastava, our national affairs editor, to take us through what has been the various no confidence motions that have taken place in the Indian Parliament. Like I pointed out, the first in 1963. Oh, we also have Rajdeep Sardesai dressed in a saffron shirt, Rajdeep. This is BJP's colour.
BJP has a majority in the Lok Sabha, vast majority, and this is a no confidence motion where numbers really don't matter. It's about narratives and perceptions ahead of the 2024 election. So I thought that you might as well for once be with the winning side, at least in terms of the no confidence motions. You were just mentioning to Rahul Srivastava about previous no confidence motions. I think the big difference between this and many of those, particularly in the 1990s and early 2000s, was there was an element of drama because of the numbers were so much tighter. Now the numbers are, so much more one-sided, Preeti, that it's not about who wins the no confidence motion. That's a done deal. It's about who wins the perception battle ahead of 2023. And I think what will be interesting, and maybe Rahul has, I was reading an excellent piece that he's written about the difference between, 2018, when the last no confidence motion was held, and now. And I think exploring those differences will suggest that this time at least, the opposition at least seems to have a voice in a manner that in 2023 it was clearly stilled, because there are a number of issues on which they will be able to raise questions of the government. And one of the main reasons why this no confidence motion is being held is because the government has not been responding to those questions. I mean, this no confidence motion is actually to get Prime Minister Modi to speak on Manipur. It could have been easily a full debate on Manipur, and we could have, stuck with that. But since that didn't happen, we've got a no confidence motion purely to get Prime Minister Modi to speak on Manipur, which reveals both the limitations of the opposition in a way, their inability to force the agenda, but also suggests that the Prime Minister has by and large spoken far more outside Parliament than within.
You're right there, and I would reckon other than the opposition finding a voice or the India Alliance finding a voice which is bigger this time around or would echo more is also another difference, because last time the no confidence motion rested on Rafale, which didn't quite have as much traction as possibly Manipur with the common man, especially and perception battle is concerned.
That I'm not so sure. I mean, think about it. I'm sitting in Trivandrum or I'm sitting in Goa. Is Manipur top of the mind for me? Not really. I think the larger question is it's 5 more years of the government. So anti-incumbency is a factor that the BJP and Prime Minister Modi know they have to deal with. And once anti-incumbency settles in, we don't know how sort of powerful it will be, how deep-rooted it is. The opposition is desperately trying to tap into that. The government, for its part, seems to believe that Prime Minister Modi can walk on water, that he is, by unquestionably at the moment, in their view, Neta number one. And therefore, their attitude is, we're okay with a no confidence motion, bring it on. You saw Amit Shah yesterday. He tried to ensure that what was a speech on the Delhi Services Bill eventually became a speech on virtually like an election speech. The BJP is very good at that. That's always been the strength of the BJP, to be able to build a certain narrative that links major speeches in Parliament to elections. The opposition has a huge opportunity, though. This is Rahul Gandhi's big chance to try in some way at least to set some kind of a narrative. It's not last time round, if you recall, 2018, the hug and the wink somehow diluted.
Brazen, immature, it was
Yeah,
a perception. Right?
It was, of course, it was seen as an immature act. You don't do that in Parliament. 2023, 5 years later, has Rahul Gandhi changed? We'll have to wait and see. Is he better prepared?
He is a different man who's walked into Parliament yesterday. Body language-wise, the way in terms of what we've seen him say of the last few months, but we'll only know, if he's allowed to speak, that is.
Well, look, at the end of the day, there is still no evidence that Rahul Gandhi is a vote catcher. That is still to be proven. We haven't seen Rahul Gandhi win an election as yet for the Congress on his own steam. And eventually, if you want to be Prime Minister of the country, you have to be seen to be a vote catcher, particularly if you're a member of the Gandhi family. What he has done is post Bharat Jodo Yatra, he is now unquestionably the Congress's Neta number one, and importantly the opposition's face against Prime Minister Modi. He has been able to make himself a magnet for all the anti-Modi opposition forces in a manner that he was not in 2018. 2018, Mamta Banerjee, Nitish Kumar would not have recognized Rahul Gandhi as a first among equals. Now I think post Bharat Jodo Yatra, post the way he's responded to COVID, to China, to the economy, the manner in which he's projected himself comes across as someone with a more humane touch, reaching out to various groups. And that could be to his advantage, certainly, compared to 2018, where he appeared, a bit like Don Quixote and Sancho Panza, hurtling around, looking for an issue to target the government, but not being focused. I think there has been more focus this time, and that is to his advantage.